You got it. Yeah, I usually click that right when this is up. Boop, boop, boop. I know it's like click all of the things and make sure it's working. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another live Mystic Fitness Flow. My name is Kelly, and I have Mirari here with me doing our awesome horizontal, or I guess sideways demonstrations. So if you're joining us, go ahead and comment good morning so I know you're here and I can address you guys. It's a beautiful morning out, still creeping up there with the heat. I think it was about 75 in my car, so beautiful morning to get out there for a walk after your yoga class, or maybe you already took your walk before your yoga class and you're really going and getting it this morning. Yeah, so just thank you so much for tuning in. I missed you guys while I was away this weekend. Mirari taught a fabulous Baptiste style on Sunday, so if you missed it, it's going to be archived on our Facebook page, so you can go back and look up our Sunday, this past Sunday. Go ahead and take a look at Mirari's class. It's a very, I would say, high energy class. Really a great challenge if you've been doing the vinyasas and the power flows. It's a really great challenge. Utilizes a lot of the same movements, but just does it in a different style. So definitely go take a peek at Mirari's Baptiste style class. And a big thank you for covering me. So I missed you guys on Sunday, but I'm happy to be back. I'm lucky enough to have family members that have a house in the Cape, so that was wonderful. I know, Tom, you're there. Good morning, Tom. What part of the Cape are you in, Tom? Let's see. See if we were close by to each other. Yeah, it was nice. We did some yoga outside, so that was nice. Followed along with the Mystic Fitness flows. And in addition to coming live to you guys on Facebook and Instagram, we're also coming live to you, we're also archiving the videos later on in the day on YouTube. So if you miss our class or have family members that don't want to use social media, but they do want to engage in the Mystic Fitness yoga, you can send them our YouTube link. So you can just look up Mystic Fitness. Tom's in Wellfleet. Oh, that's a really, really beautiful area. Yeah, we went there a couple weekends ago, and we did this beautiful trail. I forget what it was called. I'll figure that out for you. But it was such a beautiful little trail walk around the water. And I've never actually hiked in the Cape. Usually my family would just throw us on the beach. So it was nice. Now that I'm adult, I can actually do my own journeys throughout the Cape. Good morning, Pinal. Thank you guys so much. What else do I need to tell you? All right, so if you make a donation to our Venmo account, Mystic Fitness, you're going to receive a handmade Mary Beth mask, or you can opt into getting one of the studio blocks, mats, straps, one of our gently used yogitos, any of those things. So this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to build your at-home studio. So if you do need some props, you can go ahead and make your donation and comment, tell us what you need, and we will be happy to get that to you guys. All right. And of course, the donations are not necessary to be enjoying these classes. These are totally free, so don't feel like you have to donate. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. Come onto your mats. You can either come into a seated position, or maybe you want to fully lay down onto your mats. And just take a couple moments to just make yourself feel comfortable. So that might mean that you take a block underneath your sacrum, or maybe if you're laying down, you bend the knees and let them knock in together as the feet are out to the outer edges of your mat. Find a nice tall spine where you can engage in some nice deep breaths. And just start that process off with one intentional inhale and exhale. Notice how there's still some bubbling energy within this system. Maybe some curiosity about what we're going to be doing throughout our class. Maybe some lingering anxiety or questions from your morning or evening. Just kind of noticing where you're at and seeing this practice, seeing this moment as a brand new beginning where we can kind of take control of our day. And this life that we explore is almost like floating in a river. And the river will naturally take bends and turns you may not have expected. But rather than straining to look downstream and to see what's going on, if you just lay back and relax and float, you can look up and see the beautiful sky. And then the twists and turns don't feel as intimidating. They just kind of happen. And this is the true idea behind meditation. It's not trying to get you out of your head. It's almost putting you back into your body. Just allowing the now to unfold. Taking a deep breath in and out. And just slowly starting to reawaken here through the fingers and toes. Staying connected to your breath as you invite some gentle movements, maybe rocking the head from side to side, or if you're laying down or in a seated position, you might even reach the fingertips above your head. If you're laying down, pulling the knees into the chest. If you're seated, perhaps just wrapping your arms around your chest, giving yourself a little hug. And if you are laying down, just making your way into your seated position where we will begin the start of our practice together as a group. Once you're there, bringing your hands over your heart. Noticing the different vibration that the heart has versus your palms. So each part of our body is associated with a different chakra. And there's actually more than just the main 7 chakras that we've talked about. There's actually hundreds more. And each part of our body, each chakra vibrates at a different intensity. It's very subtle. Sometimes you can kind of experience it. The hands are a lot more grounded than the heart. The heart and chest is a little bit more, almost like a floating sensation. And we'll begin here with the sound of Ohm, starting with a cleansing breath. Breathe in and out. And for Ohm, inhale. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. And then dropping your arms into goalposts and just rolling at the wrists a couple times, making sure we accurately warm up through our wrists before putting some weight on them. So throughout our practice, we do come onto our hands quite a bit. And this is a location that our body isn't normally bearing any weight. So we want to make sure that we give our wrists a chance to just really get rid of any tension, shake them up. And the same for our shoulders. So just find any shoulder movements here. So find your favorite way to move. That might be bringing the fingertips onto your shoulders, or maybe taking one arm at a time, almost like a backstroke, and then a breaststroke forward. Perhaps even opening the arms up into a T and stretching through the neck, dropping the ear to one side and then the other. Just really any movements here. And when you're ready, we'll come into our table pose. And you can kind of gauge where you're at. Starting with some cat and cow movements here with the inhale, dropping the chest, gazing forward. And with the exhale, curling and rounding as you press that floor away. Inhale, arch to open. Maybe you even gaze up to open your throat. And exhale, tucking the chin towards the chest, rounding. Keep these movements going here. And I love starting practice on our hands and knees because this is such a primal stance. Literally, our first way that we learn movement is by crawling. So this is kind of like we're starting right from the beginning. We're on our hands and knees. We're finding these movements. It's a very playful energy here. Perhaps rocking the hips from left and then over to the right. Maybe even finding some nice big full circles throughout your hips, letting your pelvis just kind of rotate. And it doesn't have to be in a circle. It can be in a figure 8 or in a little squiggle, maybe even semicircles towards the back of the mat. Just take these next 30 or so seconds to find any organic movement that feels good. And then sinking into a child's pose when you're ready. You're just kind of sinking here for a second, finding this humbling down to the earth. It might feel really lovely to place a block underneath the head here or just rest the forehead on the earth. Notice the energy transfer from the palms into the ground and the ground into the palms. Take a deep breath. Returning all the way back to center, coming back into your table pose. And then extending the right toes to the back of your mat and just taking a couple back and forth presses to stretch out the calves and the arch of the foot. Just getting some gentle presses back and forth. When you're ready, picking right toes up and then planting them over to the back left corner of your mat, gazing over left shoulder, getting a nice side stretch here, breathing into the right side body. Inhale again. And with the exhale, we're going to take the right knee over towards right elbow. Inhale, extend and find that side bend once again. Toes over to the back left corner. And exhale, knee pulls into elbow. 2 more here. Inhale, side bend. And exhale, pull knee to elbow. Last one here. Inhale and exhale. Coming back into your table pose. And then taking the left toes, extending them to the back of your mat. Finding those back and forth presses. Getting into the arch and the calf. Through your leg. And then picking left toes up, dropping them over to the back right corner of your mat. Finding the side stretch here as you gaze over right shoulder. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, we pull left knee towards left elbow. Inhale, side bend, left toes to the back right corner. And exhale, knee to elbow. 2 more here. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Landing back into your table pose. Taking any little wiggles here, we're going to come into our first downward facing dog of the morning when you're ready by tucking the toes under and reaching those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Start to pedal your dog here. Walk it out. Take one heel to the mat and then the opposite heel to the mat. Make sure you didn't forget about your upper body. Try to really plant the palms and fingertips into the earth and then let those shoulders kind of roll down and away from the ears. Taking some nice movement through the back chain of our body, through those hamstrings. And as we fire up here, we're going to find some back and forth presses. So with the inhale, we're dropping the knees to a hover, finding a bent knee dog, gaze comes forward. And with the exhale, pressing into your plank pose. Make sure those shoulders don't go past your wrists. Inhale, hips pull up and back, bent knee dog. And exhale, plank pose. Now this can always be taken with the knees on the ground. As you come back, you might visit a child's pose. And then the exhale, as you spring forward, we're coming into a supported plank with the knees on the ground. Find your best version for 2 more. In and out. In and out. Landing in your plank pose. Hold here. Set your plank up. We're pressing the heels back. Chest is pulling forward. There's a gentle bend through your elbows to protect your joints. Drop those hips down if they're lifted. One strong line from the head to the heels. Inhale. With the exhale, drop the knees to the ground and slowly lower that chest all the way, coming into our low cobra here with the inhale, peeling that chest up. Shoulders come towards one another. And exhale, release. Making your way back into your downward facing dog, taking whatever style you like, maybe visiting a table pose along the way. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Now here's the real deal. With the inhale, we bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Pausing here with a deep bend in the knees. You might even choose to bring the elbows on top of the thighs so that you're really in like a supported fold. This can feel really good if you have any lower back issues. So give it a try. Even if you really like a deep hamstring stretch, this might mean that you need this posture even more, right? So sometimes the postures that we kind of shy away from are the ones that we need the most. And then you can kind of explore a little bit more here for 2 more breaths, perhaps coming into a ragdoll pose, grabbing onto opposite elbow and finding a gentle swaying, letting that stretch kind of transfer and move throughout the body. Shaking of the head, yes and no, especially a good couple of yeses, because that releases the tension building in the neck. We're very inclined to kind of drop our chin towards our chest when we're on our phones or computers or driving. Inhale to your halfway lift, fingertips come to your shins. This is an engaging pose. We're pulling the pelvis or the pelvic bowl in, and exhale, soften. Inhale, press through the feet, slowly rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart, ground down here. So I want to jump into a little movement that I've never taught and I've never cued. So you guys are going to come along on the journey with me. And guess what? Mirari is too. We didn't have time to talk about it earlier. So what I want you to do is I want you to come to the back kind of third of your mat. So there's a little bit of space behind you, but most of the space is in front of you. We're going to step the right foot forward and come into a crescent lunge. So set that up, right foot is forward, we have a slight bend to that back left knee. So you know how usually we take those awesome crescent lunge dips? Well, I wanted to take a little bit of a different movement here. So it's going to start like this. You're going to pretend like you have binoculars and you're bringing them up to your eyes. And then you're going to twist over towards the right. So right foot is forward and we're twisting over to the right. We're looking through our binoculars, right? And then we're going to step the left foot forward, and as we come into a crescent lunge dip on the left side, we're going to turn our binoculars over to the left side. All right, so now we come back, we step that left foot back, we're in a crescent lunge with the right foot forward. Turn those binoculars over towards the right. So this will get easier every time we do it. So we're stepping left foot forward, crescent lunge dip, turning our binoculars over towards the left. So your binoculars are following that front foot. Step back, crescent lunge on the right, dip and twist to the right. Step forward, dip and twist to the left. Step backward, dip and twist to the right. Step forward, dip and twist to the left. This is awesome, you guys. Step backward, dip and twist to the right. We'll find 2 more here. 1, And last one, left foot steps forward, dip and twist to the left, and then left foot steps back, dip and twist to the right. Inhale, rise to center, and then step right foot back to meet left. Awesome. So now we're going to take it to the other side, and guess what? It might be a little icky sticky at first, but we're going to get it. So this time we're going to step that left foot forward, find a crescent lunge on the left side. So that means our binoculars are turning over towards the left. Dip down, and then step right foot forward, dip and twist to the right. Step right foot back, dip and twist to the left. Step right foot forward, dip and twist to the right. Right foot back, dip and twist left. Right foot forward, dip and twist right. Last two. Right foot steps forward, dip and twist right. Right foot steps back, dip and twist left. Here's our last full one. Right foot forward, dip and twist. And right foot back, dip and twist. Inhale, rise. And exhale, left foot steps back to meet right. Awesome. We're going to do that this week. So tomorrow's class and Thursday, we're going to revisit that. That way we can really nail it. So I'm very proud of you guys. Inhale, arm circle, sweep up. With the exhale, hinging from the hips, finding a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. And exhale, hands plant. Walk the hands all the way forward. Come into a plank pose. Now choosing in your plank pose while we take our chaturanga to keep those knees lifted or drop them. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog or that low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in your down dog. If you need to pause and grab a drink, you can. Find one more big breath as we come into our down dog if you're not already there. Inhale, right leg reaches up to the sky. With the exhale, open your hip, bend the knee, dial the right heel over towards the left, pointing right knee up to the sky, both hands planted. Inhale, right toes to the sky, square your hips. With the exhale, pull the right knee towards a left elbow. Inhale, extend, right leg up. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend, right toes back up. Here's our last one. Exhale, right knee to chest. Step to your runner's lunge. In your runner's lunge, you can use blocks underneath the hands. So this doesn't change the foot placement. The feet and legs are still where they are. But what the block does is it allows you to keep that chest a little bit more lifted. Keeping left fingertips onto your block. Find a twist open to the right. Right fingertips reach up to the sky. If this doesn't feel great on the right shoulder, you might just bring your right hand to your hip. Make sure that that left hip isn't following you. You want to keep the hips in line and allow this twist to come from left rib cage, rotating over towards the right. Here's your last breath. Coming back to center, bring your hands to your heart and slowly rise into our crescent lunge. So this time we have a slight bend to that back left knee, pressing forward with that right foot. With the inhale, rise up. And with the exhale, dip and twist to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, dip and twist right. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, rise. Maybe your gaze follows your fingertips. Open your throat. And then with the exhale, dial left heel down. Open up to your warrior two. So finding your warrior two with the right toes forward, back edge of the left foot to the back edge of your mat, kind of pressing in opposite directions here. So that contrast that we're getting from the right foot pressing forward and back foot pressing back is what locks your body into this pose. Notice if those hips are given a little sass out to the left, try to keep them nice and stacked here. With the inhale, we're going to lengthen through right leg, fingertips come to touch overhead. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, fingertips reach. Maybe you even rock the right toes up towards the sky. And exhale, warrior two. Two more here. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior. Inhale, lift. And exhale, warrior, and hold here. Once you're locked in through your feet, flip right palm, inhale, reverse your warrior, hold for the exhale, opening up through that right side body while maintaining integrity through the left side body. So Mirari and myself are going for a little half bind by taking that left arm behind our lower back. Here's your last inhale. And with the exhale, finding your side angle, letting that right forearm either come and press onto right thigh. Mirari's got her forearm on the thigh. That's a great variation here. Or you might extend the right arm long, reaching the limbs away from one another. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, rise back to center. And then bring that block about 6 inches in front of right toes. We're going to find our balancing half moon here. So I like to make sure my block is a little bit in front of the right toes. That way it gives me a little momentum to kind of launch into this. So right foot and toes are going to stay forward. You're going to start to bring your right fingertips onto your block as left leg lifts up off of the ground. So we're using the fingertips on the blocks just as an anchor. We're not pressing all of our weight here. That left foot is flexed so that the glute is engaged. Hips are opening. Shoulders are stacked. Open your chest for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Landing back in your warrior two. Lengthen through right leg. Turn the toes in. Open up into this big star-like position. Arms are out from one another. And exhale, hinging from the hips, finding a wide-legged forward fold, and allowing yourself to just kind of hang here, shaking the head yes and no. Now, I can't speak for you guys at home, but in the studio, it is cooking up. I'm going to grab me and Mirari some little face cloths for the sweat. All right, and we're back. Yeah, it's surprisingly warm in the studio, even though we don't have the actual heat on. So you're in this wide-legged forward fold. I'm finding this is almost like a detour position, kind of bringing us back into a little bit of stillness and breath. Walking the fingertips over towards right foot, coming into a runner's lunge. Those hands plant. Send right foot back either in your plank pose or a 3-legged plank. So keeping that right leg lifted. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Inhale, left leg sweeps up to the sky. And then exhale, opening up that hip by bending the knee, dropping our left heel over for the right. Making sure you don't dump all of your weight into right shoulder. Try to keep both shoulders square. Inhale, lengthen left leg, square your hips. With the exhale, pull left knee over towards right elbow. Inhale, extend left leg up. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Hover. Inhale, reach it back up. Here's our last one. Exhale, knee to chest. Step 2, your runner's lunge. Making sure those feet are hip distance apart. So this is very important for our balance and solidifying this pose. Blocks underneath the right hand to kind of keep that chest lifted. Press that left foot into the ground as left fingertips either sweep up for your twist or maybe they come to the left hip. You want to make sure that that right hip is staying exactly in its place, and this twist is coming from the right rib cage, twisting to the left. Here's your last inhale. Coming back to center. Bringing your hands towards your heart and using your core connection to slowly lift you up, crescent lunge. Making sure your crescent lunge, the feet might need to move a little bit closer to one another, but they're still hip distance apart. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, dip and twist to the left. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, dip and twist. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rise, reach the fingertips to the sky. Maybe your gaze follows. Fill the lungs. And exhale, dial right heel down. Open it up to your warrior 2. This time we're on the left side. So the left toes are towards the front of our mat. And that back edge of the right foot is pressing for the back of your mat. So find that contrast again through your feet. A lot of our standing poses in yoga are finding those gentle kind of locking sensations through the limbs. So we want to find that through contrast. So there's a pressing forward and a pressing backward. Inhale, extend left leg. Maybe you rock onto the heel as the fingertips reach up for the sky. And exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior 3, 2, and 1. Holding in your warrior 2, solidify those feet into the ground. Inhale, flip left palm, reverse your warrior. Stay for the exhale. Notice if you lost that bend through left knee. Relax your shoulders. Find another big breath. And with the exhale, finding your side angle. So that left forearm can kind of rest on the thigh here, or you can find an extended left arm. Use those obliques here. So notice if you're just kind of hanging out on the legs and in the hips, that upper body is working just as hard as the lower body. We need to squeeze those abdominals without constricting your breath. Last inhale. With the exhale, returning back to your warrior 2. Bringing the block 6 inches in front of left toes this time. And again, we're going to solidify that left foot into your mat as you start to hinge the left fingertips towards your block. Lift that right leg up. Flex that right foot. This is a game changer for this posture. If you have that right flying leg engaged and squeezed, this becomes 100 times easier. Open your chest up for the side. Engage for 5, 4, 3. We got this. 2. We're almost there. 1. Landing back. Warrior 2. Lengthen through the left leg. Turn the toes in. We're going to find a nice wide-legged forward fold. You might start by kind of opening yourself up. And then with the exhale, hinging from the hips. Softening into your wide-legged forward fold. We'll be here for a couple breaths. Sometimes I see these wide-legged forward folds almost as like little pit stops from those really challenging postures. It's almost like a little snack break. So just enjoy the sensation of having that upper body be a little weightless. Starting to walk the hands over towards left foot, coming back to that runner's lunge. Hands plant, and that left foot either steps back to a plank pose or stays lifted for a 3-legged plank. We're going to hold for 5, 4. Pull that chest forward. 3, 2, and 1. Chaturanga. Slowly lower. Inhale, upward dog or a low cobra. And this time we're going to sink back onto our knees and hips for a moment in a child's pose, perhaps grabbing a drink of water, toweling yourself down. Whew, and it's only going to get hotter from here, right? We love the hot. We love the heat, though. It's good stuff. Great for the detoxifying of your internal organs and all that good stuff. Gloria, good morning. Awesome. Glad to have you guys. So we're going to start back up in a downward facing dog. So come back into your downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here, in and out. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Relax here for a moment, shake the head, yes and no. We're going to come into our last little chunk of balancing, and then we're going to hit the ground, get some abs, and then it'll be done. We'll be enjoying some nice, juicy stretches. Inhale to your halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, arms, circle, sweep up, and exhale, hands to heart, ground down here. So I want you towards the top of your mat here. Press those feet into the earth. Inhale, arms, circle, sweep up. And with the exhale, opening the arms up into a T, and then letting that right arm come underneath left for an eagle variation of the arm. So you can either grab onto opposite shoulder, giving yourself a little hug, or you can come into that full wrap. But notice if you're coming into that full wrap, if you're kind of sacrificing your shoulders, and know that it's not like the end-all, be-all of this pose to find that wrap. This is just as good. So listen to your body. Sinking those hips down into your chair pose, and then taking right foot up and over left leg for an eagle pose. Now, let's run through a couple variations. So those right toes can be planted right on the ground as a little support. This is if your balance is a little tricky this morning. If your balance feels pretty sturdy, you might take the right toes up off the ground and maybe even bring those right toes behind left calf. We're in our eagle pose. If you feel unsturdy in your balance, try to bring those shoulders above the hips. Sink down into your chair a little bit more. Try to bring those knees to the midline. We're squeezing our joints here. This is a very grounded pose. Feel the energy of that left foot into the earth. Now slowly and with control, we're going to start to unwind that right leg and send it behind us. Warrior 3 with eagle arms. If those arms are no longer serving you, bring the hands to your heart in a prayer position. In our warrior 3, that right foot is flexed, glute is squeezed. Inhale and exhale. Slowly and with control, start to bring right knee back into the chest. And exhale, land in your mountain pose. Shake it out. Shake that left leg out. That left leg was doing a lot of work there. It needs a little release. And then we get to do that on the other side. So plant both feet into the ground. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. Exhale, open the arms into a T. And then take left arm underneath right. Again, either coming into this half grasp of just grabbing onto the shoulders or coming into your full bind with eagle arms. Very important that we start to sit back into our chair to start, and then take left leg up and over right thigh. So either coming with the left toes on the mat like we started, or trying to bring the left foot kind of behind that right calf. Squeeze those knees towards one another into the midline. Notice if your chest is kind of hinging forward, and perhaps you start to send those shoulders back just a touch. Keep that chin lifted. Inhale. And with your exhale, slowly unwind. Send that left leg behind you. Warrior 3 with eagle arms. Maybe the hands just come to your heart center instead. Left foot is flexed so that you can really squeeze that glute. Chest is gently open. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back and pulling that left knee up to the chest. And exhale. Mountain pose. Release those feet to the ground. Let's empty coat sleeve from side to side. Give yourself a little release. So after holding such strong and intense postures, it's really nice to just get some free movement. Kind of getting that contrast of both ways the body moves. Last little push here. Press those feet into the ground. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. Exhale, bring the hands to your hips and sink into your chair pose. So send those hips back. This is our last standing posture. Hold for 10, 9, 8. Notice if you're arching the spine, try to make sure that flat back is nice and flat. 5, 4, sink a little bit lower. 3, 2, 1. Hinge from the hips. Forward fold. Hallelujah. Shake it out. Wiggle through the legs. Give yourself a break here. That was so awesome what you guys did for your body, strengthening the limbs and the core. Inhale for your halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Let's go ahead and sit down onto our bums. So find whatever beautiful way you can get there. Maybe you just sink those hips back. We're going to come into our boat pose. So the soles of the feet are towards the ground. To start, we'll run through all of our variations of boat. This can mean that you bring the hands behind the thighs and you just kind of sit yourself back. You'll notice Mirari's back is nice and flat. She's not kind of rounding into it. She's keeping her chest nice and lifted. You might even point your chin a little bit upwards. This can be your pose, and you can stay here, or you can kind of find a little bit of a challenge with us by letting those feet lift up. Removing your hands and reaching them in front of you, we're going to contract our boat, so pull the knees in towards the chest. And the exhale is an expanding of your boat, so lengthening the limbs and lowering your back. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, let it go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold in your best boat pose. Maybe the legs extend, maybe the arms extend for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lay all the way down. Find a nice full body stretch. Arms and limbs pull away from one another. Inhale, pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze here, rocking a little side to side. Keeping the right knee pulled in towards the chest, lengthening left leg down your mat. Finding a wind relieving position here as you pull that right knee into the chest, perhaps rotating through right ankle. Coming into an ab exercise from here. So remove your grip from your right shin and then lengthen so that your leg is at a 90-degree angle so that that right knee is stacked right above right hip. I want you to take your right palm and press into right thigh really hard, but that thigh isn't going to move anywhere. So we're kind of pressing and pulling with that leg. Left hand can place underneath the head as a little pillow here. You're going to elevate that left heel to a hover and take 10 toe taps with left heel for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep pressing into that right thigh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull both knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. So as we take that core exercise, we're still keeping that same engagement of the right palm into right thigh. Let's take it one more time on the right side, starting in a wind reliever. So pull the right knee into the chest, lengthen left leg down your mat. Find a breath here. And then stack right knee above right hip, flex the right foot, press right palm into your right thigh, take left hand behind your head as a pillow. Once you have that engagement, left heel lifts, 10 toe taps here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees pull into the chest. Taking that to the other side, so pulling left knee into the chest, lengthening right leg down your mat. We started with a nice juicy wind relieving pose. Take a couple breaths here, perhaps rotate left ankle. And then coming into that core exercise by letting the left knee lift above left hip. Taking left palm, pressing into left thigh. So that's the first part of this pose. Then taking the right hand underneath the head as a little pillow. And as we keep that engagement through the left side of our body, reach right heel up to a hover. Take these heel taps for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees pull in. Give yourself a squeeze. So the looks of that pose, it doesn't really look like we're doing a whole lot, but you guys should be feeling it in the lower belly for sure. Left knee stays into the chest, lengthen right leg down your mat, find a breath. And then coming right into that core exercise, left knee above left hip, press the palm into the thigh, right hand behind the head. Right leg lifts. Let's find 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull both knees into the chest. And that will do it for our core exercises. You might choose to bring the hands on the knees and just kind of roll the knees away from the chest and back in. Just taking some hip circles here. I always find that sometimes when I do my core work, it builds a little bit of tension in my neck and my hip flexors. So if that's you, this is a great way to release those hip flexors, and you might rock the head side to side to release your neck. Soles of the feet to the earth. Take right ankle and stack it over left thigh. We're in our figure 4 pose. The arms can open into a T, and you can just shake this from side to side a couple times. Getting some gentle twisting through the lower back as you drop the shape from left to right. And then coming into your favorite expression of a deeper figure 4. So that could be taking a block and pressing right knee away. Or it could be interlacing hands behind left thigh and pulling the shape in towards the body. Notice if your head's kind of starting to pick up, you might place a block underneath your head. Try to keep your lower back on the earth. And just breathe into this pose. There should be no tension through the hips, knees, feet, shoulders. Everything is relaxed here. And there's just a gentle energy to open up that hip. Last breath here. Bringing left sole of the foot back to the earth, and then dropping the shape over towards the right, coming into a spinal twist here. If you decide once you get into your twist that you want to take that right ankle off of left thigh, that's awesome. Go ahead and follow that cue from yourself. And take a couple nice deep breaths here in your twist. Gaze might be over left shoulder, up to the sky, or over right shoulder. And twisting at the end of our practice is so important because we are realigning our spine. Twisting is also great for our digestive system, kind of wringing out the intestines and all of the internal organs. Coming back to center, both soles of the feet land on the earth, and then taking left ankle over right thigh for your figure 4. Again, you might drop this shape from left to right a couple times. And then when you're ready, coming into a more fuller expression of this pose, perhaps interlacing hands behind right thigh and pulling the shape in towards the chest as the lower back stays on the earth. So actually your entire back is staying on the earth. Again, if the head feels kind of unsupported here, you can take a block underneath the head. Allow your breaths to come in and out. And taking this into our twist by letting the right sole of the foot come to the ground, opening the arms up into a T, and then dropping the shape over towards the left. Again, you can remove that right ankle off of left thigh if it's no longer serving its purpose. Gaze in either direction. Breathe in and out. Coming back to center and taking any last posture of your choice. So just take a little moment to run through in your body what would feel good. Maybe it's not even a specific pose, but more of a movement. Spend about 4 breaths there and then enter into your final resting pose once you're ready. Make it comfortable for yourself by utilizing any props or taking a drink of water before really coming into your final pose. Allow a big nurturing breath to just kind of come over you. We're all born into this river without knowing how to swim. And eventually, we learn how to keep the water under our chins. Sometimes this river is so cold to be in, freezing my soul, solidifying my skin. Regardless of how far I see, I never see my travels end. We're carried by the current, being driven by the wind. The scenery we pass we'll never see again. So we store it up as memories and don't let go of them. We're under a spell, thinking that the river should go straight. We set goals and desires to control our own fate. But all the pain we experience is a result of our expectations, because it's the river's nature to twist and burn, to twist and turn. And I know it. I have the same conflict. But I try to sit and flow with this river's natural process. And sometimes, when I watch myself float downstream, I see the beauty of it all, and it feels like a dream. And at that time, I appreciate the river's force. Some call it God, reality, momentum, force. I stare up at the naked moon and she stares down at me. The more I look outside false boundaries, the more I look, the more I see. The universe is not something separate from yourself. I know you feel alone, but that's why I'm here to help. I know you feel alone, but just look up at the stars. And everything that is out there is what you truly are. We got to learn to see the beauty in each moment of life. Everyone has different paths, and we're seeking the light. The world is divided between peasants and kings. But the truth is, everyone is looking for the same thing. Now, I want you to know the role you play is a part of the whole. Without you, it couldn't be, and I mean that with compassion. So if you ever need anything, I mean anything at all, I'm here for you. All you gotta do is ask. Each person is an intricate piece of infinity. I'm here for you. Not for any self-centered reasons, because existence is interdependent and all's related, connected in different manifestations of one single mind. You ain't isolated from the world, even though it feels like that sometimes. I'm here for you. All you gotta do is ask. Taking a deep breath in and letting it go. Again, in and out. Slowly starting to reawaken here, wiggling the toes and fingers, perhaps pulling the knees into the chest. And taking the next 3 breaths to slowly pick yourself back up into your seat for the close of our practice together. Once you arrive, bringing your hands back over your heart. Using this metaphor of the river that we are born into, flowing downstream with this river's natural process. We'll seal our class in with the sound of Ohm, starting with the cleansing breath. Breathe in and out. And for Ohm, in. Thank you for allowing me to teach you this morning. And the river within me bows to the river within you. Namaste. Thank you guys all so much for being a part of our live Mystic Fitness flow. Seems like Tom said the video froze a couple times. Yeah, let us know, whoever else is watching, if you froze too, let us know. We'll try to figure that out. Might have been maybe a connection thing for you, Tom, but hopefully it wasn't on our end. Awesome. All right, thank you guys so much. Please send your feedback. I'll be here tomorrow morning, hopefully with my mom. Let's see if I can wrangle her into coming with me and demonstrating. I always love doing yoga with her. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mirari. Bye, namaste.